Hey guys, Max and Shez here, Footy Focus podcast episode 3, streaming on Wednesday 10 June, so Christmas Eve.
Yeah, one more sleep until the footy kicks off. Hello everybody.
Over 3 months wait, so we'll kick things off.
Yep. So before that, what do you call it? What news is it?
Oh, you ad-libbing here, okay, go.
No, I just put the podcast on Big Footy, the website.
Oh, the forum.
Yeah, the forum, yeah, so they've got a podcast forum, yeah.
Many views?
Added.
I haven't asked you this.
Yeah, I think there was like 30. I don't know how many people have watched the thing, but like 35 have clicked on the page, the thread. So yeah, if you're listening from that, then welcome. Good to have you.
Yeah, that puts the pressure on me to put it on Twitter now. Here we go. So we'll talk about your injury ladder. You've done a bit of work with that.
Yeah, so in preparation for the round 2, I thought I'd have a look at the injury list for each club and then put it into a ladder format. So we might go through it and you can like chip in if you agree or disagree if the teams are.
So how are we doing this?
So
No injuries to injuries?
Yeah, I think we'll do it the other way. We'll go injuries.
Yeah.
To
work our way down.
No injuries. So number 1 will be no injuries and
Okay.
number 18 will be the team that I feel have been most impacted by injuries. So
looking at number 18. So
yeah.
who's
By the way,
last
on the Big Footy thing, I had to put our club as Greater Western Sydney because I couldn't pick 2 clubs. So
Okay, good compromise.
Nax goes for Port and Shez goes for the Kangaroos. If anyone's wondering.
Might have picked the premiership favourite.
Yeah, because it was either them or the Gold Coast because I didn't want to pick any other team. So
Yeah, no, Gold Coast. Good choice.
all right, so back to our injury ladder. So I've got North Melbourne at number 18 as the team that's most impacted by injuries. So we'll just quickly run through this as soon as possible because could take a little while. So I've looked at how many players are on the injury list, either test, TBC, or the number of weeks.
Yeah.
So Kangaroos have 9 players, and out of that 9, I've looked at how many could be best 22. So Kangaroos have 6. And the biggest 2 probably are Majak Dor, who's about 3 to 4 weeks, and Nick Larkey, 1 to 2 weeks. So
Dor was lucky, wasn't he? It was meant to be a pec season-ending injury. It's good to have him back.
Yeah, luckily it's only a month. So, and Luke Davies-Uniacke is another one, and he's starting full training this week. But guys like Edward Willis and Ben Jacobs are still a while away. So that's the Kangaroos injury list. Do you think the next team I have is Essendon? And do you reckon Essendon you can mount an argument they could be number 18, like the most impacted by injury?
Well, the first name on your list, Joe Danaher, and that's probably the biggest name out of the 2 clubs. So
yeah, and he's indefinite. So
yeah, not sure if he'll get a game this year. So it's probably line.
Heppel's a test. I think that he will play. I think.
Yeah, he trained. I saw on the news before.
Okay.
He'll play, I think.
Yeah. Otherwise, Essendon also have 9 players in their list, and 6 of them again could be potentially best 22.
Yeah.
Fantasia is probably the other one that they'll miss, and McDonald and Woody. So that's a pretty handy. Some handy players on their injury list.
Got to protect Fantasia's trade value too. Keep him on the sidelines.
It's good for Port. Do you want to do number 16 maybe? And
so that is the pie. So probably actually getting talked up as the premiership favourites. A lot of people have picked them as the...
they've got depth, even though I've got them at number 16.
And they had a great round 1, which I'll need to watch a replay of that, but that was a while ago. So obviously Beams, and not sure if that's more injury / mental health.
But they've got a pretty handy list as well. So Beams, Cox, Treloar, Langdon, Greenwood. And who do you think the important ones are that it will miss?
Oh, Treloar for sure. Yeah. He's probably their best, if not second best mid behind Pendlebury. Most damaging, line breaking. Obviously Cox, especially he's a big out for tomorrow. We think we talked about it last week. He obviously nearly won the prelim off his own back 2 years ago.
Yeah. Collingwood, they still... It's pretty common these days when you keep relating injury list to Collingwood, but they're still in the premiership hunt, which is... kudos to their depth.
Yeah.
I've got Sydney at number 15, so they're missing the big one in Buddy and then Reid, another key forward. So they don't have a lot of depth in talls, and guys like Naismith and Noel, they're both ruckman and they're both out as well.
Noel was the mid-season draft.
I think so, yeah. So they're going to have... Sinclair's got to do a bulk of that work, you'd feel.
I think it's going to be Heaney's Paddock until Buddy gets back.
Yeah, it's
That's
going to be a
what the
small
talk is,
forward line, yeah. And yeah, like McCartan's not super tall. And what's the other guy? Nick Blake, he's like a bit skinny still.
Bit of a hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, should be playing for North as well. But they've got 4 players that could be best 22 out.
Yeah. So I'll go to the Blues next. So Charlie Curnow, there's a bit of a theme here. There's big forwards everywhere in the outs list.
Quite a big injury list considering, at the top end there.
Yeah. Curnow's probably arguably their most important player behind Cripps. Fisher, Cruiser, who's a big out. He should come back. You've got 5 to 6 weeks here, so that's probably lucky because you would have missed the bulk of the season if it started. There wasn't a break. And Marchbank as well.
Yeah, so you'd feel those 4 would be in their best 22, so they're going to have to rely on some depth to avoid potentially another top 4, bottom 4 finish.
Yeah.
Number 13, I've got Port, so this is where it starts getting a bit hard, like the middle bit. So I thought Port had a lot of key players as test.
Yeah.
So they've got, again, 4 players on their list that could be best 22. And Robbie Gray and Lysette were tests, and they were the most important, along with Dixon and Bonner. So any of those guys guaranteed to play?
I think Dixon will play out of those. That's the talk. Gray's obviously dropped a weight on his foot, one of those COVID injuries, so I don't think he'll play. He'll get wrist. Lysette again, not sure. We got Billy. I was going to say Billy Frampton. I was going to say Frampton. It's Laddams. It's Laddams.
He's busy.
Getting them confused. Laddams. So Laddams should. I think we can probably. I think it's probably a situation where you can give him a rest for a week, and keep him fresh for the rest of the year, rather than getting an injury first up and then ruining their season.
Okay. Yeah. Number 12, I've got Freo. So they don't have a big injury list. Only 5 players, but they've got 2 important key position players on it. Hamling and Pierce, so they're both defenders and they're both TBA. So
Pierce was nearly all Australian when he went down last season.
So I reckon, because of their key players, that's why I've got him a little bit higher than what you might expect.
Yeah, got the Cats next. So Jack Stephen, he's obviously had a few issues off the field, and he's a test at the moment. Kolodajny, did I say that right?
Yeah, I think good enough.
Yeah.
We don't have time to pronounce it properly.
So Josh Jenkins and Fogarty. So Jenkins didn't play round 1 too. So have you classified him as best 22?
Oh, some of these, I looked at like best 24. So
okay, so he fits in.
Yeah, so they've got not a lot, but a couple of regulars, you might say, out. So they're there, and right under them is their opponents for this week in Hawthorn at number 10. So they've got, again, 6 players on the list and 4 that I think could be best 22.
Yeah, some big names there. Like Impey, I think, was leading their BNF when he went down, I think, round 16 last season.
He did an ACL, yeah?
Yeah, Hardwicks came second in the BNF. So they got an O'Meara too, who's a Jet.
Yeah. So, those are... O'Meara, I think, he might miss.
Yeah. He didn't train, yeah.
Don't want to ruin that pretty face even more, probably.
Saw him at Chatty the other week. So GWS next, runners up. So obviously Taranto and Ward are the biggest names. Taranto won their BNF last season, and Ward's obviously ex-captain.
Yeah, so I had a bit of trouble placing GWS just because they had a small list, but the players they had were really good. Yeah. I think Ward's okay to go, but Taranto is the one. He won their BNF. So.
Shoulder Rico, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's 4 to 6. So otherwise, they've got pretty good health. A lot of young players are injured.
Save Taranto for the finals.
Number 8, I've got the Suns. So, again, similar to the Giants, they've got a few young players, but they have Rankin injured. So he would otherwise play. So I think the whole world's looking.
Oh, I can't wait to watch Rankin,
Yeah, waiting for that debut. Brendan Ellis is another one who... did he go up there last year? He did, yeah?
Yeah,
he hasn't
it's
played.
the first season,
He might have played round 1. So he got injured recently, I think, so he's going to miss this week.
So Eagles next. So we got Jared Cameron, Hutchings and Venables. So still pretty important names. Hutchings and Venables, obviously premiership players. Hutchings the best tagger in the finals a few years ago.
Yeah, and Venables out with concussion, so hopefully he recovers from that because he was
he's been ruled out already for the season, hasn't he?
Yeah. So
okay, so him and McCartan, there's a few there.
So Hutchins is the one. So otherwise, pretty good health. The rest of these teams are pretty good health. So Western Bulldogs are next, and they have just the one, probably Jure, and Rourke Smith's the other one, so both 1 to 2, so nothing significant there. And then Brisbane right under with another 2 players in Cam Rayner and Adams, who used to play for the Dogs.
Yeah, Marcus Adams.
So they're both. Oh well, Adams is 1 to 2. Rayner's a test. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So got the D's next. So Mitch Hannon and Braden Bruce.
Braden Bruce, yeah. So they're both TBA. I mean, TBC and test. So nothing too much there. Hannon's, you'd think he'd be.
Yeah, he'd be best 22. Bruce we'll talk about a bit later. He probably isn't best 22.
Good to see Harley Bennell not on that list.
Yeah, it's great. So I think it's 1,021 days wait. So didn't expect him to get picked, but we can talk about that a bit later.
So it'll be a feel-good story. So hopefully he has a good debut for the D's.
Yeah.
But they go down. So I do not want them to win. Okay, third. Do you want to go?
Yeah, so Riley Knight and Tyson Stengel. Stengel's obviously had a colourful off-season.
Oh, yeah, he was suspended, yeah? Isn't he? Oh, yeah, he's suspended.
He had the drink driving.
Okay.
But I think he's got an injury on top of that.
Oh, sure.
That's why he's 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, I haven't said what these injuries are, so apologies for that. But I just went with time frames. And Knight is, I don't know much about him, but he would probably make best 22.
Yeah.
St Kilda is next. Pretty healthy list. Only Jack Steele, who's a test.
Yeah.
So he might even play. So no excuses this time around, Saints.
Yeah, with all their big top 5 recruits. And then drum roll for the Premiership.
Premiership
of injuries.
Richmond Tigers. So
again,
no injuries. Hooley's a test and he might play. So
yeah, I think he's going to play. That's the whisper anyway.
And also Jack Higgins, he's recovered from brain surgery, so that's great news. So hopefully Jack can,
and their depth's,
have a good game.
Their depth's incredible. They got Sydney Stack and probably Jack Graham on the outside, and there's a Collier Dawkins, who's talked about VFL star as well.
Yeah, so that's that list. So we might just keep an eye on that as we go and see if teams on top of that ladder stay true to that and remain top of the actual ladder. Or
well, surely there's going to be more injuries from this weekend than normal because you've had 3 months off. I mean,
a lot of soft tissues.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of players not being risks, but I mean, players like Bennell, I mean, hopefully not, but Bennell, other players that are getting picked, I guess, without much match practice. I mean, we'll see what happens to the list next week.
Yeah, so we'll move on from that. So that's that. So maybe that we'll go into the games.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some quick previews because neither of us have looked too in depth into these.
Oh no.
We did a couple last week, so maybe look at the Cats and Hawthorn. Do you have a tip?
Yeah, I think the Hawks.
In Cardinia Park.
I normally pick a upset every week, and this is my upset.
Luck of the week.
Yeah, I just think. I mean, you got to think about it. Clarko's had 3 months to prepare for this game.
Yeah.
That's my reasoning behind it. And they've got pattern. They've got a few good recruits. They've got players coming back. And Cats are a bit. I don't know. I think the home ground. The expectations are a bit too high, especially with them playing more games at home this season. It's not the home ground advantage. I think it normally is.
I don't know. I think.
You think even without the crowd?
Yeah, even without just the shape
dimensions
of
alone.
Yeah, I think Clarko did train for that and had the cones.
Well, they trained at night last week. I'm not sure about this week, but I think they would have had a fair few match simulation there. How about you, tipping the Cats?
I think I'll stick with the Cats, just because of that home ground factor. Like a lot of these Hawks players wouldn't have played here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't ever rule out the Clarkson coach team, but I think Geelong will just have too much experience and familiarity with the ground. So tip the Cats.
And no Amira too, probably.
Yeah, no
that
Amira.
helps. Your tip?
Lions and Freo. Did we do that last week?
Yeah, I think we briefly did, yeah.
We might move on to Carlton and Melbourne at Marvel Stadium on Saturday.
It's nearly the biggest game in Melbourne's history since the finals. Zip and won, and they were pretty flat against the Eagles, but I mean, I think that was it after the COVID shutdown got announced.
And it's always hard to beat the Eagles in Perth.
Yeah.
So.
And they've got, I mentioned Bruce before, they've got Luke Jackson probably going to get selected, playing up forward too, apparently. So, and Bennell obviously was a big inclusion, so hopefully he goes well.
Yeah, I think I read Trent Rivers, a good ball user from halfback. He's making his debut as well.
Second round pick?
Yeah,
Third
I
round.
don't know. Second, I think third.
He dropped a bit, I think, yeah.
So hopefully the debutants have a good game, but they don't normally play well at Marvel. So do you reckon a bit of an upset?
Yeah, I'm tipping the D's.
Mm-hmm.
It is a must win for them, even though it's round 2. But you don't want to drop 2 or 3 of the first couple of games because you're right behind the 8 ball with only 17 games this season too.
Yeah, I agree with the Cruiser, Kerner, and a couple of their best 22 players out. Like we said before, I think Melbourne should be able to get the points here with an almost full strength team. The Suns versus West Coast. So the Coast
Eagles,
battle.
Yeah, I'd say Eagles by 10 goals.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, I think
hopefully
so.
it's a better game than that though.
Yeah, Suns should be better than last year, but
Yeah.
you'd think, Premiership, one of the Premiership fans, he should have no problem adjusting to the new environment and, just to be professional and get the job done.
We did a bit of the showdown. Still tipping Port.
Did we do that last
Yeah,
week
I
or not?
Did we?
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe it's a young Adelaide Crows lineup, but they do have experience in the midfield.
Yeah, they've still got the likes of Sloan and I think Brody Smith's playing
The Crouch.
there. Yeah, the Crouch brothers too. So I think Port is getting tipped by everyone, which means they're probably going to lose. But I think it's just up forward where Adelaide don't have the depth where they used to.
Yeah.
They got Walker. Fogarty's still very young, even though he's very promising. Just don't see where the goals are going to come
Jenkins,
from.
Betts.
Yeah, and their midfield don't really kick goals or historically don't. So it's just a matter of the goals where they're going to come from.
Yeah, and Adelaide's and Port Adelaide's defense with Crulley, what's his name?
Clury, Jonas. No Dougal Howard, but they've got I think I back
Houston.
Houston's playing mid these
midfielder?
days. Yeah,
Okay.
he's moved permanent mid, but Darcy Burn-Jones. I think our back half's probably the strongest, but
I think you guys will have too much run and too solid in defense and win that one.
And the Lysett out might be big if he doesn't play because they've obviously got Riley O'Brien who's came on big last year, and Latham's probably a bit too early for him to be number 1 ruck.
And Ollie Wines is playing. Should be playing, yeah?
Should be playing.
He's not on the injury list.
No, he wasn't on the list as of yesterday.
So, with that midfield, Rockley, Boak, these guys running through, I think they'll at least match it with the Crows.
Yeah.
And if they do, then they'll, should be able to kick a winning score.
Now it's our team versus your team, the Giants.
Yeah, Giants, Footy Focus.
So where is it again?
This is in Giants Stadium.
Giants Stadium, okay.
Yeah,
it's normally empty, so it's pretty
they
similar,
are.
right?
I think I think they're allowed to get the.
How many supporters?
Like 350 or
so it's a normal crowd.
You already made that joke last week.
I did. My bad.
Okay, yeah. So this is going to be a tough game for the Roos. Will be massive underdogs. GWS just almost a full strength team, and it'll be hard to see the Roos winning. But having said that, like any given Sunday, right? Like they come to play, then never know. But the midfield would have to match Cornelio, Kelly, Ward, Hopper.
Your midfield's still pretty good. You got Cunnington, Higgins. You've got the likes through there. How about up forward? Who would take Ben Brown? Phil Davis is probably the obvious.
If they want Phil Davis loose, then they might put a core or.
Because Taylor's probably a bit small, isn't he, for Ben Brown? Sam Taylor.
Oh, maybe not. No, I think should be okay. But it's like who's gonna take Larky's spot because Larky's not playing. So do we go small or do we go like for like and give a debut to a guy called Tristan Cherry?
Okay.
But I'd like to see us go small. So either play Zebul as a permanent centre half forward or debut a Jack Marnie who was picked up last year as a small forward, or Lachlan Hosey.
Yeah.
Another hit up forward from last year. So even if you do let Ben Brown get double team, like bring the ball to ground and get those smaller players front and centre. But then you look at our defence matching up with.
Yeah. So who's your matchup for Toby Green?
Then we don't have one, so
no one has
that'll
one,
be
to
the
be
difference.
fair.
Yeah. So Marley Williams is suspended, and guys like McDonald and McMillan, they're not super reliable. So. Maybe we might have to send an Atlee or a Pittard who has a bit more pace to keep up with.
Because you'd say Robbie Tarrant on Jeremy Cameron is probably the obvious.
Yeah, or Jeremy Finlayson.
Yeah.
Or maybe Sam Durden comes in to take one of the tolls.
Yeah.
Josh Walker will play. And
it's a good story, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So hopefully he has a good game. So I think, lucky we got him, because otherwise if we didn't, then be pretty
sure.
screwed.
Till Dor comes back anyway. So the next game is the Joe Danaher Cup. So the Swans...
So wait, we're both tipping GWS, yeah?
Oh, you're tipping GWS too?
Well, I tip with
you're not biased.
I don't tip with my heart.
Oh, it's very cold of you. So the Joe Danaher Cup.
Yeah, so
Swans and Dons.
Yes, and Danaher won't be playing. So.
I'm thinking Essendon, even though it's...
Isn't it SEG? Okay.
Yeah, even though it's there.
Yeah.
No Buddy. I mean, I think Heaney would have to kick a bag to be... Like, he did kick, I think, 4 in a low-scoring game against the Crows in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's really probably Heaney or Blakey that need to kick the goals.
Who's going to kick Essendon's goals? Stringer. He'd have to kick a bag.
McDonald, Tippin, Woody.
He's not playing.
Oh, he's not playing?
Tipper's out.
The Irish dude.
Langford, maybe? Oh, Conor McKenna.
He's playing up forward, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, other than that, I think Essendon... I'll tip the Swans just because it's away. Because I think teams might need a bit of practice doing the fly-in, fly-out on the same day and playing. So it'd be a brave man to tip any away team this week, I think.
And you can probably play Hooker or Hurley up forward, given that there's no Buddy or Reid or any real tall options
true,
there.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably the option. But, again...
Mm-hmm. But I think, stick with the Swans.
So last game of the round, 6:05 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah,
ever seen a 6:05 game
Yeah, it's a
before?
new time slot.
Are they crowds for this one?
I don't
Marvel?
think so. I doubt it. St Kilda was the Bulldogs. They were both disappointing in round 1.
Yeah.
St Kilda almost probably should have won that game against the Roos, and
It's a missed opportunity.
Collingwood blew the Dogs out of the water.
So I'd expect the Dogs to bounce back. I mean, they're one of the teams that are, if not in the premiership window, tracking towards it. St Kilda's probably still not ready yet, but I'd tip the Dogs for this one. Yeah.
Do you think the
Norton.
St Kilda players, the 5 players they brought in, having no sort of contact or anything, it's a disservice? They don't have time to gel, and
it's a fair point. I mean, they're all in the best 22 as well, like Firmly and Trent. So, like guys like Ryder, I don't think Ryder's going to play based on what I've been hearing today.
What happened?
They just play Marshall.
Form. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, even if he does play, it's 50-50. It's not 100%, and that's never been his suited role. I think Brad Hill, I think the transition for him will be fine. Zach Jones as well. Brad Hill's nearly been their best player since the pre-season.
He was a bit quiet in the second round second half last week. Round 1.
Round 1, yeah.
Let me say it again.
3.
Yeah.
Take 2.
No, that's cool.
So I think Norton will have a big game. That's just my tip anyway. And Bont, obviously, as well, to get 3 votes.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's almost a flip of the coin because you never know. Like, are the Dogs getting a bit overrated because people know they won the premiership a few years ago and getting carried away? Or have the Saints can they do something this year with their new recruits? So I'll probably stick with the Dogs, but I wouldn't be surprised if St Kilda got up.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our wrap of the rounds.
So the first game, obviously, tomorrow night, 7:40.
Collingwood and Richmond. Do you want to quickly tip that? Because we did talk about
Yeah,
that.
I think...
Do you remember who you tipped last time?
I don't know, actually. I'm tipping the Tigers. You get a week.
Yeah, I think I tipped the Tigers as well. Yeah,
you get to tip the week of, and that's
just the injuries
final
even.
tip.
Just full strength team.
Yeah.
There's backs against the wall, Collingwood. So
I can see Lynch and Rewalt having a big game.
yeah, or at least Rewalt, because normally Lynch doesn't do much in some of the games. He either has a really good game or doesn't do much. We might go on to a new topic, a topical one, which you wanted to touch on.
It's obviously probably the biggest topic in the game apart from the return to the game. So I'll try and get the name right. Heritier. Did I say that right? Heritier Lumumba. So formerly known as Harry O'Brien. So Collingwood Premiership player. So he's tweeted on Tuesday that Bucks essentially deserted him and said that he threw Eddie under the bus after Lumumba criticised Eddie's king comments on Adam Goodes in 2013.
Yeah, I did see a bit of that.
So they actually went on 360. So
yesterday?
No, 7 years ago.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think Eddie was guest hosting for that week for some reason, and then Lumumba came on, and then he's pretty strong. Like, he's pretty outspoken. I haven't seen someone take it to Eddie that much before. Obviously, since then he's claimed. I think there was a doco about him released on SBS. It didn't get the hype that the Goods one did, but there was a doco about this and all his claims. So he hasn't, I guess, backed away from any of the claims. He's kind of said that there was a culture of racist jokes at the club. He was nicknamed Chimp for a few years, and he used magic mushrooms to deal with it. Now, magic mushrooms weren't part of the drug policy, what they were testing, so he never tested positive or anything like that.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
So the Aboriginal players, Leon Davison, Andrew Cracker in particular, backed him up the whole time. Now, Shay McNamara, who's a white player,
he backs
for
him
a
up
better
as well.
term, he backs him up as well. So, and then Darren Sammy too, who's a cricketer, famous West Indian cricketer. So he's come out recently and said him and Thisaro Pereira, who's a Sri Lankan cricketer, were nicknamed Kalu by an Indian IPL teammate. Now the one that's come out is Ishant Sharma.
Mm-hmm.
So that Kalu is a Hindi insult towards black people. Now they thought it meant strong stallion, so they didn't think much of it. Okay. But since then they've found out what the real meaning is, and
it's racist.
It's I haven't seen the response from the Indian side of it yet, but
because Kalu in Sinhalese, which
means black too, right?
Means black. So.
Exactly. So it's very topical, obviously, with the George Floyd protests and everything that's going on right now. So whether I haven't seen Collingwood come up with a response for it yet, but I think they probably should address it.
Do you think this is just in Collingwood Football Club, or do you reckon other clubs would have had this culture as well?
Yeah, I don't think it's limited to Collingwood. I think it'd be naive to say that there's 18 clubs. Can't be just Lumumba that's copped it. He's not an Aboriginal. He's I think he's half American.
Mixed,
he's mixed, half American, half African. So it's a tough one to say, but definitely Collingwood need to address it, because you can't let these things hang these days. The way the world is going these days.
Yeah, so even in 2013, I would have thought stuff like that would have been unacceptable, but hopefully people are taking notice, and they're more aware of what they say and how it can get interpreted, even though they might not be trying to be racist or anything. But
because obviously Bucks, obviously in the Adam Goods documentary, Bucks was one of the main voices, and he came off pretty good. Eddie Maguire obviously wasn't painted in the best light, but definitely Collingwood need to address it. It's not something that can hang, and he should be a decorated player. He's played in the Premiership. Even in the last year before he got traded to Melbourne, he came fourth in the BNF. So he's had a great career for better or worse.
So do you think they've got their 10-year anniversary for the Premiership this year? Probably won't go. Yeah, I don't know. We might hear a bit about that when that night comes up, but can't see him going. Yeah,
after being so outspoken, you kind of having a go at your
which is sad. Like, you'd think they should be able to have a beer with Premiership teammates, but will not happen.
Was it 2011? 2010?
2010, drawn grand final.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
So, how about your thoughts on Harley Bennell? Because that's probably the biggest
I'm happy.
Inclusion.
Yeah, good on Melbourne for giving him a shot. Like, it's always sad when talent is not fulfilled.
Yeah.
And because there was a drug addiction, like for whatever reason, he might have had a difficult upbringing or he's fallen into drugs. But
and then he had the 25 calf injuries in a row.
Yeah, and then the injuries to compound that. Yeah, so it's good to see a club have faith in him, and he finally has got his body right. So, and he's a really good player to watch. So I think, Daniel Wells-esque when he was younger. So hopefully he can have a few games together and make something out of his career.
Yeah, because he's 28 now, I think. So he's not. Really? Yeah, it's gone by real quick. So he was getting. I mean, I remember Port. I think Nick D'Arsano said the same thing too. He was one that used to get tagged rather than Ablett.
Yeah, you're right, because it was the 2010 draft. Yeah. So he was a gun. So we'll see what he can do. And I think that's
wrap it up.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you next week for round 4. We'll recap round 2.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for listening.
See ya.